Welcome to the 2% Club. I'm Rach Hirsch, investor, operator, and wellness obsessive in every sense of the word. This show is where wellness and business finally get to sit at the same table. Every week, I talk with the people shaping what we buy, how we move, what we eat, and the rituals we swear by. If you're building in wellness or if you're wildly curious about where the industry is headed, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome back to the 2% Club podcast. I'm your co-host, Rachel Hirsch.
I'm Melissa Weiss.
It changes. Melissa Gelman Weiss.
I don't have like a signature opener. I'm like not an influencer.
Well, but this week you were. Can we double tap into what prompted you to decide to be an influencer this week?
Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe
love
it. So hi, my name is Melissa and I'm a fake influencer. So I'm like obsessed with this like various products, and I talk about my fitness instructor Holly Rillinger like recommends them to me, and so I was inspired to post this shake recipe because everyone's talking about how to get enough protein. Not enough people are talking about how to get enough other things, namely fiber. And no one is talking about how to accomplish that if you don't eat meat. And so that was the impetus, is how does one meet their protein requirement? Said otherwise, how does any woman who's postmenopausal hit their protein requirement without consuming meat?
Well, I'm not postmenopausal. In my mind, I am, but physically, I'm not. And I'm not meeting those requirements either. But can I tell you why this is so timely? I'm going to totally out my dad right now, and I'm really sorry because I don't think I'm supposed to, but here we are. He was at Sloan Kettering today, and the doctor, all of his other oncologists have been telling him about more and more protein. So he's been like on this protein kick. But today the oncologist told him about fiber and brought up Metamucil. I almost lost my shit when the doctor brought up Metamucil. First of all, because I'm an investor in Belly Welly. But second of all, we are in the dark ages, the rock ages, like we are the Flintstones. If we're talking about Metamucil as still being an efficacious solution, like my mind was blown.
Yeah. Hot tip on protein and meat.
Okay.
Diagnosed with cancer, and it was a long time ago, is because when I was 26 years old and I was bloated so badly that you could actually see it through my clothes. And the girls in my office said, "How's your alien baby?" I worked in fashion. It was like the aughts, so you could talk about that.
Oh, cool.
And I went to a doctor, accredited, Upper East Side. And I said, "I think there's something wrong." And he said, "There's nothing wrong. It's in your head. Don't worry. Women get this way." And he sent me on my way. It took me 1 year to get a diagnosis. I saw a gynecologist. I went to an ashram. I went to a stomach doctor. They thought it was SIBO, like everything. And then I went to another stomach doctor. Hot tip. His name is Dr. Blair Lewis. Saved my life. I did an exam and he knew immediately. And so he said, "Here are some pills if it's IBS, and get a scan." And so I followed up with his office a few days later, and I'm like, "These pills aren't working. This is bullshit," you know? And he personally called me back and said, "Did you get that scan?" And I said, "No." And he said, "I need you to go." And I'm like, "I'll go." He said, "I need you to stop what you're doing right now and go." He totally knew. He totally knew. The technician was doing the scan and she stopped and said, and ran out of the room and left me there. And I started crying. I was a year sober, so I was just doing the Serenity Prayer over and over again in my head. And the doctor came in and they found a mass. And I was very lucky. It was very early stage. The whole journey really, to back out, people don't know enough about women's disease. It is acceptable, apparently, to say it's in your head, women get like this. And my fantasy, by the way, is to sue him for malpractice for 1 penny.
Low-key love that.
I do too, but I forgot his name. I think I blocked it out.
I mean, yeah, there's so much there.
There's so much there. So that's it. And just it just keeps it always happens. Like you're crazy, it's stress. I'm like, it's not
How did you know no?
that something was wrong.
Yeah, that like you wouldn't quit going. Like you knew that you had to keep like investigating.
My stomach was like I looked pregnant.
And you are the queen of starving yourself, so you knew it wasn't from eating.
It didn't look like from food. It didn't look like that. It was distended. I knew in my soul something
You
was
knew
off.
that. Pun not intended.
What'd you say?
I said you knew in your gut, but pun wasn't intended.
I just knew. It was, it's a gift. It was a gift. And one of the things I think about is like the timing. I could never have like showed up and been in that place if I hadn't gotten sober. And I
Right.
would never have gotten sober unless I had had every drink and everything I ever did. So I can't really regret anything because it all got me here, if that makes sense.
It makes the most sense. And gosh, I love your perspective. I think that that's like so rare the way you just phrase it. Is it 100% accurate? I'm 100% with you. And I don't know how many people live like that. And that is so grounding. I love that. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to regret that kind of stuff.
Well, you can't change it.
Can't change. I mean, by the way, there's a shitload of stuff I regret, you know, like I wish I had done differently, but
Do we want to throw out some of those regrets right now or we're keeping those private? Meanwhile, we took a wide left turn from talking about the food pyramid changes.
oh my gosh. Um, when I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 26 years old, I saw an oncologist, the most amazing person who treated me like a person. And I went through my treatment, which was abbreviated because it was early stage. And I'm very lucky. And at the end of it, I said, Dr. Dotino, I love you, but I really never want to see you again. What should I do? And he said to me, read this book. And it was a book on nutrition. He said, and get a membership at the Y. This is 20 years ago, by the way.
Crazy.
And I was like, but what else can I do? And he said, diet and exercise. It is diet and exercise. Those are the two most effective levers to prevent cancer.
And you've worked almost your whole life in wellness. That's
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
I did. I did. It was intentional.
You do. You still do.
And so the book was a book called The China Study, which I believe to this day is the most comprehensive nutrition study that's ever been conducted.
Oh, wow.
And it's essentially a survey of longevity of people who live in what we now call these blue zones.
Oh.
And the premise is don't eat meat.
Crazy.
Yeah, it
Are you
is.
a veg?
Pask.
Does that include chicken?
Go in and out of chicken.
That's so real. I think that's a real thing. I do too.
I go
Sometimes
in.
it's too hard to not, from a I don't eat dairy either perspective.
By the way, so these days I get more and more committed to the not eating meat thing and now sort of broadly animals and
Mhm.
understanding someone actually said recently that eating dairy is the same as eating meat because of the animal cruelty piece. So
I also wonder from like the way it's raised, hormones, what it's easy, eating perspective, if it's the same lack of and the way it's processed, lack of nutrient or fullness response as well.
they did a study and essentially, especially on factory farming, the animals that die in fear, it gets communicated in the food.
I think this is too much for me. Sorry. I believe that. And
It's
I also
and so when I see, yeah. So the answer is I try not to proselytize, but I mean, I went from a person on the Atkins diet, eating like cheeseburgers with bacon, like wrapped in lettuce, to now where I'm like
But
the opposite.
meanwhile, that's sort of the new food pyramid question mark. I have so many questions.
I understand. I
Like,
understand.
on one hand, so I started writing something about this because I was really trying to, but on one hand, none of it's surprising because this is all what they've been talking about for so long. They just finally put it in writing. And then on the other hand is 100% your take, which is
It's like the lobbyists. I mean, I swear I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but like you put meat and dairy in there. Like I wish I had the data point of the amount of money and lobbying that meat and dairy spend, but like there's more space for steak and milk than there is for lettuce. You know what I mean? Like, and this whole thing,
fibers out. You can take Metamucil, kids.
I don't know, like, you and I said it on the podcast the other day, which is like poop is sexy. You know how you poop? It's not through steak and milk.
Well, that's for sure, unless you're from the Midwest and that's all you know. But what's so interesting is it's the first time there's been like an anecdote of supplement approved usage to supplement what they're basically taking out of the food pyramid. Previously, that was not, I mean, it's still not regulated. It's even less regulated now, but it was sort of frowned upon before. Now it's like, you should, like, go get your Metamucil, but instead of Metamucil, we're taking Belly Welly. But at any rate, like, it's just a confusing, total flip of the switch
What do you
with no
think of
science,
the food pyramid?
huh?
What's your take on the food pyramid?
Listen, I think that everything you said, I don't think it's conspiracy. I think that's like, I think people would just say that that's probably fact. I think protein is having a moment, but I don't think that the use of supplements to replace what you could be eating makes any sense. Like, my whole, if you're eating a gummy green because you don't have access, that would be one thing. But these gummies are priced so high that you're eating gummy greens because you don't want to eat the real whole foods. And that is never going to equate. If we're saying processed cheese has all of these repercussions, sure as hell, a processed gummy with some greens thrown in isn't getting you what you need. So I can't reconcile that at all. That's not how I want to live. That is surely not what I think is healthy. But my body, my choice. So, like, y'all get to live how you want to live.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot in there that you said that's interesting, one of which is like affordability, you know? So, what I think that the administration said about the food was there was something of like placing more importance on meat and dairy, et cetera, because these are the inputs to what schools decide to serve, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, you know what's really interesting is they did that like pyramid, but if you look at the recommended serving sizes they're not that different from what they were.
Well, the changes themselves actually aren't that different. It's just the language around it.
Correct. So again, this is a little bit of we're commentating on smoke and mirrors, but
I like it. Give the people what they
yeah,
want.
but the I feel like even if we're saying okay, we should have more meat and cheese in school, without some like real reform around like how we get cheap meat and dairy, you're looking at
It's an
like
ultra process that isn't pumped up with hormones, that isn't X, Y, and Z.
there is like a all this means is that we're doubling down on factory farming. All this means is we're creating more cheap meat and cheese.
Can I hot take you for a second? And I actually, this isn't my perspective, but just to play devil's advocate, because it's what I do best, is there is some sort of need, arguably, to have a resurgence of American manufacturing
100%.
across the spectrum. So, to some degree, I feel like this is a play for middle America to, like, I'm reaching, I'm stretching because this isn't actually my perspective, but there's like some piece of that that definitely feels like it plays into this.
Great. I think that's actually a really important point you made there. And uh, I actually would say we desperately need to support American like farmers. And maybe the best way to do it isn't through supporting a handful of factory farmers, but to finding a way to support local farms, like the local farmer.
This is really just like my full takeaway here, full circle for me is, I've always wanted to live off the land. Like my dream is to buy a plot of land, build a bunch of bungalows, have all my friends live there. Like y'all can come visit, you can come stay, you can live there. And I want a farm. I'm getting veggies off the farm. My chickens are hatching eggs that I'm eating. I don't trying to kill any little piggies for my bacon. Like I'm just hoping you produce some eggs. Maybe we're near a coast, you go fishing, but like I want my veggies. I have this vision of what my veggies look like and all of the fruit that it's going to be. We all just need to live off the land. Takeaway for the day.
For those of you who were watching when Rachel said whilst the other day, because she went to business school in
Oh
London, she also went to college in Texas,
my, I did.
which is why she so nimbly moves from whilst to y'all.
Well, y'all was is okay. This is like not to poke the bear too hard, but y'all is the most inclusive term that comes from the South, and the irony is not lost on me there. And y'all in when like doing proper meetings is fully socially acceptable. I learned in school, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna take that word and put you right in my back pocket and use you when necessary, and it is frequently necessary.
I like a y'all. I like a y'all actually for that reason, which is it
Uh-huh.
is actually quite respectful of anyone across the
Powerfully
aisle.
inclusive. Yeah,
Across the yes, 100%.
I love
So I
it.
support y'all. I also support whilst. I can't get behind Telly. That I can't work with. But
But it's like a nice short, like Brecky, Telly. I don't know. Like I'm a nickname kind of gal.
I use none of those things.
Okay, well, maybe
I
it's not
know.
the
I
one.
spend all that extra energy saying breakfast. I'm tired now.
You
Like,
gotta be tired. You don't lay down.
oh my gosh, I have to say television. Oh, it's too much.
It is too much. Meanwhile, the sun is setting because it took you too long to say it. It was like the sun's already gone down.
I know.
All right.
So to connect all of these things, like I'm going to connect this.
Right.
I'm making this make sense.
Let's go.
So one, there's substantive evidence that meat and dairy cause cancer, amongst other things, heart disease. Like it's not great, right? And the diet that is most recommended for brain health is the Mediterranean diet, which is pescatarian. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, there is actually a diet, a version of it called the Mind diet.
Not to take us left when I know you're trying to full circle us right now, but my assumption that so much of it actually matters how it's produced, how it's
100%.
and so like are there I imagine there are like asterisks and caveats to a lot of this.
I don't think
Or
there's
they're left so. I don't know the answer. I'm asking.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think the big asterisk is it matters how things are made.
Okay.
Like it
I can live with
matters.
that.
It matters how animals are treated, even if selfishly it's only for your own health,
Okay,
right?
so now question of the day. If you're in a pinch, would you eat a fish cake from McDonald's or would you take the burger? Serious question.
I would never eat a hamburger,
So okay. But
I
okay.
guess. By the
So
way, also hot. Also, since we're having like closet confessionals right now, I went through a period in my 20s where I was like really into the fillet of fish at McDonald's.
was it good? It scares me.
I've never seen you more judgmental than in that
Or
moment.
I want the part of the
Vile.
impetus.
It's
Okay, but
vile.
part of the impetus to my
Good.
question is like
That
I'm a
feels
little
really good.
scared. What percentage of that is fish? And if we're just calling it like
None. I'm
fish
sure not.
adjacent, then and like it's fine. I think I would have less of a mental block with it, but the fact that we're calling it fish, I think I struggle with.
Do you feel the same way about their meat?
Well, yeah, but I haven't eaten their meat since the early 90s.
No. The answer is I would never, unless like
I'm
someone
really
were like,
sorry I was judgmental. That was so bad.
oh my gosh, I'm giving you shit. I would never, unless someone had a gun to my head or my kid's head or something, I would not eat a McDonald's hamburger for so many reasons, the least of which is my health. I
Yeah.
think they're a brilliant marketing company, though.
Well, okay. I mean, there's like, we should have a whole McDonald's conversation because my hot take is they have the largest distribution for food and how easy it would be for them to implement like healthier options. I've dug into it before and they have tried, but their consumers won't buy. I still think almost as like a I'm sorry for like us making society obese, they should still do it, but that's like a charity aspect.
Cool.
But second to that, the reason that nearly all chicken in America is hormone free now is because McDonald's is the largest consumer or like nearly up there of like Tyson, and they wanted it was just like too expensive for it to be two different types of way it was being manufactured. So that's why it's actually because of McDonald's we have to thank for so much hormone free chicken in
They
this
have
world.
the capacity to do so much good. So what's really interesting is you have Chick-fil-A and Chipotle are both committed to sustainable practices. And Chick-fil-A actually does their commitment is cruelty free.
Oh.
I mean, they do ultimately kill it, but like that's and my daughter did
I was
a
wondering how cruelty free when you're killing the chickens work, but I wasn't gonna. I was like,
I mean, it's like it's cruelty free until, right? But like but they're humanely quote
does
unquote
that mean that they're feeding them better products, like the than chicken we're consuming
that
is
they're
worse?
like in I mean, this is how bad it is. They're never in places where they can't open their wings. I
Okay,
mean,
we gotta stop this conversation. Not no pun intended. Don't have the stomach for it.
yeah.
Truly.
So anyway, going back to it, what's interesting is my daughter did a summer program in finance, and they had to do a group project, and they did an analysis of the market valuation on Chipotle.
Hmm.
And the five of these kids presented this thesis that uh, the value of the company or the growth of the company is capped because of its commitment to sustainable practices, which is real.
Huh. Yeah,
Because
we'll see 2027 when that changes. We'll circle back on this.
um,
The cynic in me is shining bright today.
so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this like pyramid thing is a bit irresponsible and like inflammatory and all the
It's
things.
just interesting timing too because of the proliferation of GLP-1s and like how it coincides and what that means and then what it really means for food conglomerates and all of that. Like I got my popcorn, I'm watching, I'm ready. I want to see how this plays out and I got commentary for days.
I love that so much. I'm really excited to like follow that commentary.
Great. You count me in, Substack me. Okay. I will be eating my popcorn, but we will all see you next week.